Well, hello everyone and welcome to Momentum channel. My name is Mo, and in this video, we're going to be walking you through my portfolio that I have with Wealthsimple Trade. It's a portfolio close to $237,000. Majority of our funds are in our non-registered account, close to $168,500. Following that, we have our tax-free savings account, close to $49,000, and then RSP account, close to that $15,000 mark. A majority of it, of course, we talked about are in Canadian dollars. We do have some funds in US dollars that you see right next to these accounts. This is a Wealthsimple Trade Plus account, which allows us to have funds in both Canadian dollars and US dollars. And the beauty of it is that as we buy or sell US stocks, again, we are not going to be paying any trading fee for that. When the first time you convert your money from Canadian dollars to US dollars, there's that kind of conversion fee, which is kind of very typical compared to many other brokerage accounts. In fact, it's a very decent amount of fee that they charge. But the best part is, at least when you sell it, again, your funds are going to be available, let's say, in the same currency that you sold your funds in. So if you had some funds in US dollars and you sold them and now you cashing out, those funds would be available for you in US dollars through Wealthsimple Plus account that we have here. And we're not paying any fee for this Wealthsimple Plus. The main reason that I have it is because the balance of my account is beyond certain threshold, and that's why I was offered this Wealthsimple Plus account at no charge, which I accepted as a result of that, obviously. And we do have some funds in crypto account. You do notice that close to that $1,300, and currently it's down negative 65%. We are just keeping it on the side. We don't intend to touch it at this time, and that's not the focus of actually this video. What I would be going through today is I want to walk you through the key dividends that we received over the past several weeks. I'll walk you through those dividends, and I also want to show you some of the changes in this portfolio, what stocks we've bought as well as what stocks we've sold. There have been a few of those that we've done, and I'll tell you in a moment why I've done that. So why don't we dive into it? I'm going to click onto the activities. You do notice something right off the bat, though. There are some pending activities for account transfer. And this was one of the pieces of information I wanted to share with you. Those of you who have been watching this channel for a while, you do know that I have my funds in a number of brokerage accounts, including Interactive Brokers, 𝗿𝐋𝐈𝐿, and Wealthsimple Trade. Wealthsimple Trade being the main brokerage account that I do use. Recently, Wealthsimple had an offer whereby you could kind of transfer your funds from other brokerage accounts to Wealthsimple as a way for you to consolidate all your accounts into one platform, and they would cover the transfer fee. They had a little bit of a bonus as well. If you do that, depending on how much you're transferring, you might get some dollar value in bonus. I thought that was a good opportunity for me to take advantage of that. I absolutely love using Wealthsimple Trade. Really love the platform, really love the simplicity of its use and the fact that it doesn't charge any fee for trading. Unlike 𝗿𝐋𝐈𝐿 that you do have to pay a fee, especially if you're buying or selling stocks. That's when you have to pay that fee. That's why I'm transferring those funds all to here. The first one is showing a pending transfer from Interactive Brokers. So I'm going to move on all my funds from there to Wealthsimple. And the other three are my three types of accounts that have in 𝗿𝐿, transferring the amounts there. $2,200 there, another $18,000 there from RSP account, and another roughly $11,000 from our TFSA account. I'm bringing all of these accounts as is without selling them. It's going to be a full transfer, meaning to say all the accounts that I have, all the funds that I possess in 𝗿𝐿, they're going to be transferred the way they are to this account. Now, I did have a few funds in 𝗿𝐿 that already over time had lost their total value. They were showing you, even though I had some funds, like let's say 1,400 shares of Future Farm Technologies. At one point, I bought them. That was one of my worst buys, which I think I covered in one of my older videos. Anyway, long story short, that one has now zero value, but it still was showing in my 𝗿𝐿 account. So before I was able to complete this transfer, I had to fill out a form to get rid of all of those funds that now have no value, kind of liquidate them at zero, get rid of them. And after that was done, coordinating now back again with Wealthsimple to complete this transfer. I believe this process might take a few weeks. I'll definitely keep you posted once this process has completed, and you would have an updated video of our new total value for Wealthsimple Trade account. Speaking of the funds that we sold recently, Vanguard Emerging Market Index ETF is the one that we sold off. We sold about half of our shares at the price of $32.65, 310 of them. and we cashed out that amount. This was from our non-registered account. The other one is 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝖖, which is the BlackRock's East and Far East index ETF as well. We sold about half of our shares, 339 shares, at the price of $32.97. The main reason we wanted to sell off these funds and withdraw those funds into our account because we wanted to kind of replenish some of our emergency funds. We wanted to set aside some of those funds, maybe later on as we have more rooms in our registered accounts, utilize that and invest it there. That was a strategic decision that we've made, and we're happy that we did it at that time. We still have a good exposure to international markets overall and emerging markets, so you're happy with that, and not a problem there. Those were honestly the main sales that we had. We did also got rid of our shares of 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝐖. We had 10 shares of them. This one definitely was one of the major sales as well, as in a sense that I think we were down heavily, almost 60 to 70%, but we just wanted to, at the beginning of the year, kind of realize that loss and kind of try to use that in terms of our tax loss harvesting later on down the road, when for the next year we are going to be filing our taxes, because we will definitely have some capital gains, and this way we can try to balance it out as well. We also did sell our shares of Greenlane early in the year. We had 120 shares that we sold at the price of 51 cents and kind of offloaded those shares. We had some positive sales as well. Like this is from our tax-free savings account. We sold our 5 shares of Shopify. For the longest, those shares were in the negative territory, but as soon as they hit something positive, I think there was one day that Shopify had almost like a 15 to 20% gain, and we pretty much on that day or the next day, we sold it off at the price of $63.32 Canadian, and we kind of realized some gains there. You do notice that we also sold some additional shares from Shopify at the price of $63.86, 8 more shares there that we sold in our tax-free savings account. And ultimately, of course, early on, we got rid of our Bank of Nova Scotia share through fractional shares, as well as the remaining shares that we had there as well. Now, I want to show you as well the dividends that we received this past several weeks. Let's see what we get here. The majority of our dividends that we're getting on a monthly basis is thanks to the shares that we have in VDBuy, the Vanguard high dividend Canadian ETF that allows us to give exposure to about 45 or so high quality Canadian stocks. They pay us a juicy dividend. Roughly, the dividend is sitting around that 4 to 4.2% annually, and these dividends are paid on a monthly basis. So last month we received close to $500 in my accounts. My wife also has some exposure to those, and they are not included in this visual that we are looking at it here. We also did receive, if you notice, that similar type of dividends, high dividends in the months of the February, as well as if you go back, similarly we got some dividends as well in early January. Some of them are from Bank of Nova Scotia, which since then we've offloaded those shares, and we of course have some shares of VFE. That's one of our other big holdings that we have. VFE gives us exposure to the 500 largest US stocks, gives us exposure to the US stock market, but we love it both in terms of the dividend it pays. It's not the highest, it's only about 1% annual yield, but mainly because of the growth potential that we have through VFE. With that out of the way, if we just look at the recent buys, I think we would be able to move on and take a look at the overall positions that we have here. But let's take a look if we had any recent buys in the market. Okay, so what you notice here, the recent buys include buying one share of 𝗋𝐈𝐖 for our RSP account. We also continue to buy shares of VFE. This year, we are really putting a lot of emphasis on increasing our positions of VFE, and on the side, gradually buying some shares of VDBuy, but really the main exposure is getting much more shares of VFE. So that's no wonder that you're starting noticing that VFE buys are really shown up there quite frequently. And that will be the focus moving forward as well. All right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at our current positions that we have in our account. Our personal account, if we click onto it, it shows there are overall 7 positions consisting of some position in Canadian dollars and some in US dollars. The Canadian dollars are mainly Real Matters, which is currently down by 56%. This is one of those positions that maybe after a while, we might consider actually offloading it and really getting rid of it and realize the loss. But we'll have to wait for a few more weeks or months to make that decision I'll definitely keep you posted. The next one is VDY. That's one of our largest positions in our non-registered account. Currently, we have 2,070 shares. It's down by about 0.5% at this time. Even after those sales, we have around 300 shares. It's up by 2%. VFV, it's up by 3%. We have 562 shares. XEF, we have 300 shares at close to 7.6% gain. And 𝐋𝐈𝐖𝐊, it's down by close to 2%. We have 201 shares there. If we look at the US dollar portion of this account, it mainly consists of Verizon. We have 27 shares. It's down by 22%. If you look at our tax-free savings account, our Canadian dollars positions are only a few of them. We have cars, 18 shares down 48%. Real Matters, we have 207 shares down 48%. VDY, we have 679, close to 680 shares here, which is down by just about 1%. And VFE is up by 2.5%. We have 202 shares here. And for the US portion of this account, we have a few big losers, for lack of a better term. Beyond Meat actually is down by 76%. We have only 3 shares. NEO is down by close to 80%. We have 18 shares. Plug Power is down by 67%. We have 18 shares. And Tesla is the only one that actually is up. Now up by 22%. We have 1 share of it. Lastly, if I look at our RSP account, you'd notice here that in the Canadian portion of it, we have 3 main holdings. VDY, we have 72 shares at down 1.2%. VFE, which is up 2.5%, we have 121 shares. And 𝐋𝐈𝐖𝐊, we have 12 shares, which is down by close to 3%. So that's one of those positions that we want to take advantage of the dollar cost averaging for it. On the US dollar side, we have only 1 position, which is the shares of close to 8 shares of Skyworks Solution. It's up by 8% at this time. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick look into our portfolio that we have with Wealthsimple Trade. What our plans is for this portfolio, what stocks we've already sold, what stocks we are gradually buying, and what is our focus in the weeks ahead in the stock market. As I pointed out, we are more interested in pursuing a passive approach to investing, buying shares of high quality ETFs such as VFV or VDY or 𝐋𝐈𝐖𝐊, as well as for more exposure to international markets, we are thinking of V or XEF. We do have a separate account still with Questrade for our Smith Maneuver portfolio. That's the one that we have not moved it here because we wanted to keep that as a separate account. In there, we are only investing in V equity, which gives us access to an all-in-one basket ETF, gives us exposure to the international markets as well, US and Canada. We're building gradually those shares there. I'll be sure to post a separate video focus on the Smith Maneuver in coming weeks and provide you an update there. With that, I hope you found this video beneficial and gained something of value from it. It's really the focus of making these type of videos, sharing our own portfolio, is not to brag or anything like that. It's more so around sharing with you how anybody could actually start a portfolio, particularly if you're more focused on passive investing. You can do it so simply. You don't have to do a ton of research. Through high quality exchange traded funds, it makes the process of investing so much easier. And over time, as you build on your portfolio, as you invest more, you start learning more. And once those dividend income comes in, once those appreciation comes in, you start really getting a lot more confidence. And as well, you have to be comfortable with some losses as well in the meantime, right? For us, we are not worried about these passive investment funds particularly because we are in it for the long term. And here you're actually diversifying your risks. You're not only picking one particular company and betting all your eggs or your marbles that this is going to be a successful company. It's really hard to tell. Whereas when it comes to index fund investing, you're really spreading the risk and getting much more exposure to broader market, which over time I firmly believe is going to perform well. And in fact, there's a ton of body of research that shows that if you're investing in the stock market for the long term to passive investing, that could be a good way for you to consider for wealth generation. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with that approach? Are you more of a passive investor or active investor? I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to leave us a comment down below and share what your thoughts are. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you thought you gained something of value from it, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Here on Momentum Finance, we post every week videos about investing, including investing in dividend stocks, growth stocks, penny stocks, and crypto. We also talk about ways to reach financial freedom. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next time.